There are 14 motorcycle brands that nobody is buying anymore because they are rapidly losing customers to smarter, more innovative competitors. This is not a minor sales dip. It is a full-blown customer exodus. While these brands are pretending everything is fine, their showrooms are ghost towns and their inventory is collecting dust. You were told that a legendary name was a mark of quality. The brutal truth is that for these 14 brands, that name now stands for decline. In this video, we will count down the 14 brands that have lost their grip on the market. We will expose the fatal decisions that drove their customers away. You need to watch until the end, because the final brand on this list is not just losing customers. It is actively pushing them away with a strategy that is completely backfired. Number 14. Victory Motorcycles. Once positioned as a direct competitor to Harley-Davidson, Victory Motorcycles has become the poster child for technology stagnation. Their lineup looks trapped in a technological time capsule, while competitors have integrated touchscreen displays, smartphone connectivity, and advanced rider systems. What Victory markets as innovations amount to little more than new paint schemes and minor cosmetic updates. This technology gap is not just an inconvenience, it has become a deal breaker for modern riders who expect seamless digital integration. Service intervals remain stubbornly frequent, with owners reporting frustrating waits for parts that should be readily available. Production delays have become legendary, with customers waiting months beyond promised delivery dates. Even Victory's once loyal fan base is evaporating. Visit any owner's forum, and you will find thread after thread of longtime supporters announcing their switch to more innovative brands. The technological stagnation has created such a competitive disadvantage that Victory can only compete on price, a dangerous position that has dealers quietly pushing other brands. Number 13. Norton Motorcycles. The collapse of Norton's reliability reputation represents one of the most dramatic falls from grace in modern motorcycling. This historic British mark has systematically destroyed customer trust through catastrophic quality control failures. Norton's customer complaint crisis has reached critical mass, with owners reporting major mechanical failures within the first 5,000 miles, including catastrophic engine seizures, electrical system failures, and frame integrity problems that pose serious safety concerns. Rather than addressing these problems, Norton frequently blames customers for improper maintenance, even when owners followed manufacturer guidelines. The financial impact on owners has been devastating. Bikes that commanded premium prices just 3 years ago now sell at 40 to 50% below market value compared to similarly aged competitors. Dealers have responded by quietly removing Norton from display, relegating them to back corners, or eliminating them entirely. The word-of-mouth destruction has been merciless. Social media platforms and motorcycle forums are flooded with Norton horror stories, creating a viral rejection that no marketing campaign can overcome. The motorcycle industry operates on trust. Riders literally put their lives in the hands of manufacturers. Once that trust is questioned, recovery becomes nearly impossible. Number 12. Confederate Motorcycles. Now rebranded as Curtis, Confederate exemplifies the cultural irrelevance trap when a brand becomes disconnected from evolving rider preferences and social values. Once considered the epitome of rebellious American craftsmanship, Confederate has transformed from a coveted status symbol to an uncomfortable anachronism. The death of Confederate as a status symbol has been swift. Motorcycles that once commanded admiration at bike gatherings now frequently attract criticism. The brand's deliberate embrace of Confederate imagery, once positioned as rebellious, now reads as tone-deaf and divisive in today's cultural landscape. Confederate catastrophically failed to adapt to changing market tastes. While the motorcycle industry embraced streamlined design, environmental consciousness, and technological integration, Confederate doubled down on excessive mechanical exposure, environmentally questionable practices, and resistance to electronic advancements. Modern riders actively avoid the brand, seeking alternatives that offer superior value, performance, and contemporary styling without controversial baggage. Even wealthy collectors find themselves hesitant to purchase bikes that have developed such negative social implications within the riding community. Confederate's rebranding to Curtis represents a desperate attempt to escape this cultural trap, but the damage to their market position may already be irreversible. MV Agusta's plunge into the resale value apocalypse is a cautionary tale of how quickly luxury brands can transform from coveted investments to financial liabilities. This storied Italian manufacturer has created a perfect storm of factors that have decimated its bike's value retention. The acceleration of depreciation for MV Agusta models has become severe, with 2-year-old bikes routinely selling for less than 50% of their original MSRP. That is far worse than competing premium European brands. This value collapse has created a systematic customer exodus, with buyers choosing brands like Ducati and Triumph that maintain stronger resale values. The company's dealer network faces a crippling oversupply crisis. Visit any MV Agusta showroom and you will find rows of unsold previous year models collecting dust. Dealers have been forced to offer extreme discounts just to clear inventory space, with price reductions of 30% or more becoming commonplace. Buyer remorse has reached epidemic proportions among MV Agusta owners. Online forums have transformed from enthusiastic ownership communities to virtual support groups for disillusioned customers. That public expression of regret creates a powerful deterrent for potential new buyers. What makes this situation particularly tragic is that MV Agusta produces genuinely beautiful machines. However, the financial reality has transformed these motorcycles from desirable possessions into financial anchors that owners cannot escape without significant losses. Number 10. Moto Guzzi. Moto Guzzi's descent into innovation stagnation shows how even the most storied motorcycle manufacturers can become irrelevant when they fail to evolve. This iconic Italian brand has gradually transformed from industry pioneer to museum piece in the minds of modern riders. Once the undisputed ruler of the sport touring segment in Europe, Guzzi has been systematically overshadowed by more innovative competitors. Their flagship models have remained fundamentally unchanged for nearly a decade, while rivals introduced revolutionary engine designs, cutting-edge electronics packages, and substantial weight reductions. Even more concerning is the erosion of Moto Guzzi's loyalty base. The brand once inspired near-fanatical loyalty, with owners proudly displaying Eagle logos and forming exclusive clubs. Today, these passionate communities are shrinking rapidly as riders migrate toward brands offering similar character, but with modern technology and reliability. The gap between consumer desires and what Moto Guzzi offers continues to widen at an alarming rate. While riders increasingly demand sophisticated rider aids, connectivity features, and efficient powertrains, Guzzi stubbornly clings to outdated technology wrapped in retro styling. Rather than reimagining their motorcycles from the ground up with modern technology that preserves their unique character, Guzzi has merely grafted superficial updates onto decades-old platforms. The result satisfies neither traditionalists nor modern riders who expect contemporary performance. Royal Enfield's market exodus acceleration represents the painful transition point where decline becomes an inevitable mathematical certainty rather than a speculative possibility. Despite a recent surge in retro motorcycle popularity that should have favored their vintage-inspired designs, Royal Enfield has created a business situation where failure is no longer a question of if, but when. Their market share has declined for 5 consecutive quarters, despite aggressive price positioning. Customer retention rates have plummeted below 40%, indicating most first-time buyers are not returning for a second Royal Enfield. Warranty claim frequencies have doubled over the past 3 years, suggesting fundamental quality issues remain unresolved. The dealer stock crisis has reached critical levels, with showrooms unable to move inventory despite increasingly desperate incentives. Multiple dealerships report having over 200 days' worth of inventory on hand, more than double the industry average. This excess creates devastating cash flow problems throughout their distribution network. Perhaps most damaging is the systematic migration of experienced riders away from the brand. While Royal Enfield briefly attracted attention from motorcycle enthusiasts seeking authentic retro experiences, these knowledgeable customers quickly discovered the performance and reliability limitations behind the nostalgic styling. Their attempts to move up market with premium models have failed to gain traction, while their core budget offerings face intensifying competition from more technologically advanced Asian manufacturers. This strategic squeeze leaves Royal Enfield with no viable path to profitability in most established markets. Number 8. Indian Motorcycle. Indian Motorcycle's neglected loyalty crisis demonstrates how even the most iconic American brands can systematically alienate their core supporters through misguided decisions. Since Polaris Industries revived the Indian nameplate in 2011, The company has pursued a strategy that has paradoxically abandoned the very customers most likely to support the brand's resurrection. The abandonment of Indian's fan base began subtly, but has accelerated dramatically. Early supporters were drawn by the promise of authentic American craftsmanship combined with modern reliability. Instead, Indian has increasingly prioritized superficial design elements and marketing hype over performance fundamentals and durability. Riders who initially switched to Indian from other American cruiser brands are systematically returning to their previous manufacturers or exploring alternatives from Japanese and European companies. These departing customers frequently cite declining build quality, inconsistent dealer support, and questionable reliability as primary motivations for abandoning the brand. Years of quality control issues have destroyed Indian's ability to compete effectively with emerging market players who offer similar styling with superior engineering at lower price points. Particularly troubling are recurring issues with electrical systems, transmission durability, and finish quality, and those problems contradict the premium positioning and pricing of their motorcycles. The fundamental mismatch between what Indian thinks customers value and what they actually prioritize has led to product strategies that actively drive loyalty away. While Indian focuses on heritage-inspired styling and nostalgia marketing, their most passionate potential customers are seeking reliability, dealer support, and consistent quality. Number 7. Benelli. Benelli's marketing illusion collapse highlights the inevitable failure that occurs when hype collides with reality in today's interconnected motorcycle market. This historic Italian brand, now under Chinese ownership, has created a textbook case of how flashy promotion cannot overcome fundamental product inadequacies. Benelli's weight and efficiency problems have become increasingly problematic, as rider preferences shift decisively toward lighter, more fuel-efficient models. Benelli motorcycles are 15 to 20% heavier than class averages, which translates directly to compromised handling, reduced fuel economy, and accelerated component wear. These are issues that cannot be disguised by styling or marketing claims. The destruction cycle for Benelli's reputation has accelerated dramatically as negative online reviews and word of mouth create an unstoppable spiral of customer rejection. What began as isolated complaints about reliability has transformed into a widespread perception that Benelli motorcycles represent a risky purchase. The gap between Benelli's advertisements and ownership reality has become pronounced. Their marketing materials feature dramatic imagery and promise premium European engineering at accessible price points. The reality includes inconsistent build quality, difficult parts availability, and dealer networks that frequently lack proper training and support. Modern motorcycle buyers demonstrate a high level of research sophistication that Benelli's marketing strategy fails to respect. Today's customers meticulously compare objective performance data, reliability statistics, and real-world ownership experiences before making purchase decisions. When that research contradicts marketing claims, the resulting credibility collapse does not just affect current models, it taints perception of the entire brand. Harley-Davidson's overpricing mass exodus reveals the dangerous consequences when an iconic American brand loses touch with value perception in the modern motorcycle market. Their stubborn adherence to premium pricing, despite mounting competitive pressure, has triggered an unprecedented customer migration. The investment regret crisis among Harley owners has reached alarming levels. Customers who paid top dollar for their motorcycles are discovering that resale values are plummeting faster than at any point in the company's modern history. Models that historically maintained 70 to 80% of their value after 3 years now struggle to retain 50%. Creating a financial shock for owners who expected their Harleys to be stable investments. International competition has intensified pressure on Harley's outdated value proposition. Japanese and European manufacturers now offer cruiser motorcycles with superior performance specifications, more advanced technology, and better reliability, often at significantly lower price points. Even more concerning is the emergence of premium American alternatives that directly challenge their patriotic marketing advantage. Decades of customer relationships are being systematically destroyed as loyal Harley riders reluctantly conclude that the brand no longer offers acceptable value. Particularly damaging is the loss of long-term customers who have owned multiple Harleys over their riding careers, but now find themselves priced out of the market or unwilling to accept the value compromise. The disconnect between price and performance has created irreversible market rejection, as potential customers simply remove Harley from consideration before even test riding their motorcycles. When competitors offer objectively superior products at lower prices, continuing to charge premium rates becomes untenable regardless of heritage or brand loyalty. Number 5. BMW Motorrad. BMW Motorrad's adaptation. Failure perfectly illustrates what happens when a premium manufacturer fails to future-proof its lineup in a rapidly evolving marketplace. Despite a reputation for engineering excellence, BMW has fallen dangerously behind in key technologies and market trends. BMW's reluctance to fully embrace the electric revolution represents their most dangerous strategic misstep. While competitors have committed substantial resources to developing compelling electric motorcycles with practical range and performance, BMW's efforts have been half-hearted and unconvincing. The stagnation of BMW's inventory is increasingly apparent at dealerships worldwide. Models that once moved through production allocations now linger on showroom floors for months, requiring unprecedented incentives to sell. This inventory buildup creates financial pressure across BMW's distribution network, and it undermines the exclusivity that supports their premium pricing. BMW motorcycles were once the gold standard for long-term value retention. Today, buyers seeking strong resale markets are systematically avoiding certain BMW models, especially those with complex electronic systems that age poorly. This shift in investment perception threatens BMW's ability to maintain premium pricing. A fundamental misreading of market direction led to investments in technologies and features riders have largely rejected, while areas customers actually value were neglected. That disconnect between BMW's product planning and genuine market trends suggests a worrying insularity within their development process. Number 4. Aprilia. Aprilia's dealer abandonment crisis exemplifies what happens when a motorcycle manufacturer loses the confidence of its own distribution network. This Italian sport bike manufacturer has experienced a quiet but devastating retreat from showrooms across major markets. The hemorrhaging of market share has been relentless, with Aprilia losing ground in virtually every segment where they compete. Younger, cost-conscious riders are systematically choosing Japanese alternatives that offer comparable performance with superior reliability and lower maintenance costs. Even in Europe, where Italian brands traditionally enjoy home field advantage, Aprilia's sales decline has outpaced the overall market contraction. Some dealerships are actively refusing to stock certain Aprilia models due to poor sales performance and inventory management nightmares. This dealer refusal strategy creates a dangerous spiral. Lower visibility leads to reduced sales, which further decreases dealer willingness to stock the brand. Once this cycle begins, reversing it requires massive manufacturer investment that Aprilia appears unwilling or unable to make. The stagnation in design language and feature innovation has left Aprilia's lineup feeling dated compared to rapidly evolving competitors. While Japanese and European rivals introduce new technologies and styling directions every 2 to 3 years, several Aprilia models have maintained essentially the same appearance and feature set for nearly a decade. When dealers will not sell your products, the entire business model becomes unsustainable. Aprilia's distribution network collapse represents an existential threat that transcends temporary sales fluctuations or model-specific issues. Without a robust dealer presence, even the most impressive motorcycles cannot reach customers. Number 3. Ducati. Ducati's performance extinction demonstrates what happens when a legendary racing heritage becomes irrelevant in the face of changing consumer preferences and market realities. This iconic Italian brand, once synonymous with cutting-edge performance, has watched its technological advantage erode while clinging to an increasingly outdated business model. The revolution in consumer preferences has shifted decisively away from Ducati's traditional focus on extreme performance and racing pedigree toward a more balanced approach that prioritizes usability, reliability, and value. Modern riders increasingly question whether marginally better track capabilities justify the significant premiums Ducati charges compared to high-performing Japanese alternatives. Ducati finds itself trapped in a vicious cycle of high prices, inconsistent build quality, and stagnating innovation. Each element reinforces the others. Premium pricing creates expectations of flawless execution that Ducati struggles to meet, while their innovation pace has slowed precisely when accelerated development is needed to justify their cost premium. Industry experts increasingly predict that without dramatic changes, Ducati will continue to lose market relevance outside a shrinking niche of wealthy enthusiasts. The consensus among motorcycle industry analysts is that Ducati's current business model is fundamentally misaligned with market realities and consumer expectations. The painful truth is that racing pedigree and brand history cannot compensate for current inadequacies in a market increasingly dominated by informed, value-conscious consumers who prioritize ownership experience over image. Ducati's continued emphasis on racing success while neglecting the practical concerns of everyday riders represents a dangerous misreading of contemporary market dynamics. Number 2. Triumph. Triumph's obsolescence acceleration reveals how even seemingly successful motorcycle manufacturers can rapidly lose relevance when they avoid meaningful innovation. This British icon has experienced a silent but devastating erosion of its market position as customers migrate toward truly progressive alternatives. The revolution in customer behavior has fundamentally shifted away from Triumph's nostalgic approach. While the company enjoyed significant success with their retro-modern designs, they have failed to recognize that even tradition-minded buyers now expect modern performance and technology beneath classic styling. This disconnect has created a widening gap between Triumph's offerings and market expectations. Triumph's technology stagnation trap becomes evident when comparing their current models with those from 5 years ago. The similarities are striking, and competitors have implemented generational changes during the same period. Their flagship motorcycles remain anchored to outdated platforms with modest updates, rather than ground-up redesigns that address fundamental limitations. The disaster for Triumph owners comes at resale time, when many discover their motorcycles have depreciated far more aggressively than expected. Models that once enjoyed strong value retention now struggle in the used market, creating financial shock for owners who believe British heritage would protect their investment. Modern riders increasingly view Triumph as a symbol of stagnation rather than prestige. The brand's reluctance to embrace cutting-edge technologies, particularly in electronics architecture and powertrain efficiency, has positioned them as deliberately behind the times rather than classically timeless, a subtle but crucial distinction in today's market. Number 1. Honda. Honda's innovation exodus represents the most shocking and consequential collapse in the modern motorcycle industry. This Japanese giant, once the definition of reliability and value, has systematically driven away customers through a combination of complacency, mismanagement, and strategic blunders that have transformed the brand from industry leader to cautionary tale. The innovation crisis at Honda has reached critical levels, with their model lineup showing minimal meaningful advancement over the past decade. While competitors introduce revolutionary features, materials, and technologies, Honda has responded with incremental updates and conservative designs that fail to excite or differentiate. This technological stagnation has created the perception that Honda is following rather than leading, a devastating reversal for a company once known for engineering breakthroughs. The acceleration of customer flight has become impossible to ignore, as riders systematically abandon Honda for brands offering cutting-edge features and technology. The combination of plummeting resale values, uninspired performance, and outdated offerings has created an unstoppable customer exodus that spans all motorcycle segments, from entry-level commuters to flagship sport bikes. No amount of marketing manipulation can hide the reality that Honda is becoming increasingly irrelevant in a market demanding genuine advancement. Their massive advertising budgets have created a dangerous illusion of market stability, while underlying sales metrics show alarming declines in customer loyalty, repeat purchases, and brand perception, particularly among younger riders who represent the future market. Honda's strategic backfire disaster is particularly evident in their modernization strategy that satisfied no one. By attempting to appeal to everyone, they've created bland, compromised products that fail to excel in any category. This middle ground approach has actively pushed away their most loyal customers while failing to attract new riders, leaving Honda in a dangerous no man's land between tradition and innovation. The complete loss of relevance happens when a motorcycle brand loses both its heritage customers and fails to gain new ones. Honda's inability to excite traditional buyers while simultaneously failing to connect with emerging market segments has created a decline that becomes more difficult to reverse with each passing product cycle. The 14 brands we have examined represent different stages of the same terminal disease, the refusal to evolve. The motorcycle industry has undergone a fundamental transformation, where brand names and heritage mean nothing without innovation, value, and performance. These companies believe their reputation would carry them forever, that customers would remain loyal regardless of product quality, and that marketing could substitute for engineering. They were catastrophically wrong. This industry shakeout is accelerating, and more brands will join this list before the correction ends. Which brand do you think will be the first to completely exit the market? Comment below with your predictions and your experiences with these declining manufacturers. Subscribe now to track every closure, every customer exodus, and every desperate survival attempt as this industry transformation continues.